All right, so we're going to talk about today how to make a print advertisement for this commercial. All right, basically, in a nutshell, you're going to be taking a screenshot from Premiere, all right, a little bit different than the snipping tool. Then we're going to place it into Illustrator. We're going to put a title and your name in there, and then we're going to turn the link to your YouTube video into a QR code. All right, so that overall is the project or the process of what we're going to do. All right, so right now the first thing in order to do that would be to open your Premiere project. All right, and I'll just use Isaiah's project here for as we're looking at it. So in Premiere, on your toolbar, you should see a little camera icon. All right, that's going to export a frame, as it says here, kind of like the snipping tool does. So we're going to press the camera there. We can give it a name, so I would say like print, or maybe commercial print ad we would call it, because we may have another project and now we're working on that. So we can browse to where it's going to go. All right, so it's going to go to data. All right, so we're going to put it into a folder. I can save it here, and it's going to. I would recommend using JPEG over some of these other file formats. They're going to be a little smaller in file size. All right, so once that image is set, then we're going to go into Illustrator. All right, so when we launch the program, basically we're just going to start off by setting the document size. And then we will place the image, place text, and shouldn't have too much else to do after that. All right, so when Illustrator starts, usually there's the welcome screen that's kind of similar to what you had in Premiere. So it's not showing, so I'm just going to do File, New. And now this is kind of like what I'm saying is the welcome screen. On the top, you have all your presets for sizes. All right, so I'm going to go to Print, and most likely you're going to choose this landscape orientation. And that's because in Premiere, if you think about your kind of your ratio, right, it's a wide type of format. So you want to kind of match that. So we're going to choose landscape. I'm going to give it a name again, commercial print ad. All right, it is in points, so we can just verify the right size as inches at 8.5, 11. So I'm going to do create. And now that's going to create what's called an artboard. All right, it's kind of zoomed out now. I'm going to, oh, no, it fixed itself. So anything beyond this white is not going to print. All right, so when I place, and that's how I bring the picture in, I do File, Place, and let's see if I can remember where I saved that. I was kind of talking and not really thinking too much. I think I put it in here. Here we go. All right, so here was our image. It kind of loads it into your cursor. So we can just do a single click and it fits it full size. Or if we do File, Place, and I do this again, now if I click and drag, I can designate the size of it a little bit better. All right. However, we're seeing that our format or our ratio is a little bit not quite the same. So you're going to have to scale this to kind of fit and then position it. All right, so all this stuff beyond the black here is not going to print, but that would be okay to use for that. All right, so I don't think we'll really lose anything. All right, so in Illustrator, this black arrow is what we're starting with. This is our selection tool. All right, so if we wanted to move this picture around, if we want to resize it, you know, you can do all that kind of stuff by using the selection tool. All right, then all we're going to do is we're going to add our text. So I'm going to click and drag here. Maybe this would be a commercial for Puerto Rico, right? That's where you would have rather been, Isaiah. All right. So once I highlight it with the text tool, you have a panel over here, your properties, which has all of your fonts. All right. So I can change the font family. I can change the size. All right. I can add a stroke to it if we wanted to get an outline around it, which sometimes looks nice. All right, and then if I go to my selection tool, oh, what did I do? I think that stroke was maybe too big. Let's do hairline. Oh, I have black. So these are your colors also on your toolbar. The solid box is the fill, so that's the color inside. All right. So I'm going to choose like a white instead. So I have white fill, black stroke, and now, yeah, if I increase my stroke, like in this case, now we get some nice contrast on there. All right. And then, so I want you to have the title of your commercial and then your name. All right, so we'll say bye. Now notice I'm typing here and the box, I don't see it. If you have this happening, you'll notice that there's like a little plus sign here, meaning that your box isn't big enough for the text. So we have to kind of increase this, make that box bigger. All right, and then so we would say, all right, so maybe that would be our kind of our titling on there. All right. Last thing we're going to do is to make the QR code. All right. So for that, we are going to go to YouTube and find your video, because nobody wants to spend the time in typing in a web address. Nonetheless, the one that would be generated from your commercial, all right, it would take a really long time to type it in. Let's see, I'll take one of my videos for now. All right, which I should make one for my Pear Deck commercial. All right, but if I took my chroma key video, all right, all we have to do to make a QR code, we're going to copy the address that we have here, and then if you search for QR code generator or maker, I'll put the link on the classroom today. Let's see if this one works. The other one that I worked with before was not downloading for free. So on this one, you click on URL, but you can see here, you can make a QR code out of like your contact information. All right. So like we talked about a business card, you could have a QR code going to that, your phone number, all right, that type of thing. But I'm going to use URL. And then I'm going to did that change? I think it did, right? So if I save as a PNG, and we could say this commercial QR, we save it to that same location, always putting everything in the same spot, right? You don't want to have to look around through all of your different folders. And then lastly, now we're going to just place that image in here. I can click and drag to make the box. And what I would like you to do, so that we don't have any trimming, kind of like our title action safe areas, I want you to make it a 1/2 inch off the edge for your text and your QR code. All right. To do that, I'm going to do a Control R. All right, that brings up my rulers. All right, so to apply a ruler or a guide, I left click in it and I drag down. So a 1/2 inch away from 8.5 would be 8 on this side. So I can see over here, this guide is lining up with the 8. That's my horizontal guide. And for my vertical, I'm going to left click and drag from this one and bring it over. 11 minus a 1/2 would be, and I'll answer at once, 10.5, right? So now I can make sure that that's not going to get cut off when I print. All right, so we would save that and then print it, and then we can have start decorating our bulletin board and having people, giving them the ability to watch your video.